Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Launch Network. This is Carmine Danisco, your co-host for today's show of Reality Is with Mr. Mark Portney and Brian Scanlon. We had a great guest on earlier. We were talking about some really cool offer. This is not only an offer, awesome business opportunity. We want to bring him back on. We want to dig a little bit deeper and see what's going on. Hey, Mark, what'd you think about that? It's pretty cool stuff, man.
Listen, I wouldn't have brought it on if I didn't think it was the best thing since sliced bread. And you know what? I love the entrepreneurship. I love giving everybody an equal opportunity. This is not an offer that costs anybody anything. You just need the ambition to get out there. So the people that don't have the ambition are not going to do anything. They're just going to listen and go, it's not really for me, or it's a day of the week that ends in a Y. It's not for me. Fuck you. But the people who have really want to roll up their sleeves and break their ass a little bit, this is a monster opportunity with no upfront cost whatsoever. It's just a way to make money. And if you listen to the last podcast, it's Swipe for Free. 4 is the number, swipeforfree.com. Click on Become a Partner, and you're off to the races. You'll be training in no time. You'll be making money. And then we'll get Chris on here in a moment, but you can sell the asset. There's a million things you can do. And Chris, who is an absolute product of this, has become a very, very, very wealthy guy. He's a regular dude. Used to go to the bodega every day and buy his coffee with a fucking buttered roll, thinking he's living large, just like all of us when we were young. And this is who it is, which should give everybody the hope that they need, that anybody in all 50 states, I don't give a shit if you're listening to me from California. I don't care if you're listening to me from Michigan. It doesn't matter. It's an opportunity for every single person that's throwing ears or eyes on this podcast. And that's what, and don't frustrate me, people, because I brought it to you. Don't tell me I didn't bring you nothing, because there's no excuse not to give this a real shot. And you got relatives, you got insurance companies were built on selling your relatives first and then backing into regular customers. And some of the richest guys in the world started off by selling their, your grandparents came over. Oh, you need life insurance, Grandma. You're going to croak soon, And that's how this whole thing, that's how these companies were built. This is a company that's already built, and anyone can start off in their own backyard and then venture out into the world. And let's get Chris on, man. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah. It's funny, Mark, because you had mentioned on the other show that you had set up your lawn care guys in Oahu for your house in Oahu. You got those guys on this, right?
Yeah, sure. As soon as a monkey pops out of my head. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey, Brian, I'm going to bring Chris on. But you've been doing this a little while, and I want to ask Chris, what's the big domino you're hearing from people when you're trying to sign them up? What's that one big thing that they just step back and go, oh, I can't do it? Or what's the question that they always ask?
Man, I mean, for what we've been doing, and another thing I want to stress too is we're doing this the same exact way that we're offering this to everybody right now. There's no special treatment here. We signed up through swipeforfree.com, and we get the same splits that you guys get.
Yep.
Chris just gave us an opportunity, and we're thankful for it, and we're taking advantage of it. But I think we sell. Under our book of business right now, we have tow truck company, we have a hair salon, we have a nail salon, we have bars and restaurants, small bars and restaurants, bigger ones that are, doing millions of dollars down on the Jersey Shore. We have a dentist office. There's endless possibilities for this.
Car dealership.
Car dealerships, right?
That's
Car
good,
dealerships, huge. The biggest thing that we hear is the good businessmen sign up for this in a heartbeat. It's the guys that bitch and moan about, I'm not making any money, my margins are too thin. Those are the guys that hesitate, right? And they don't realize that the right business decision is to eliminate this credit card processing bill. It is the only bill that you can eliminate without negatively impacting your business. You can't say, I don't want to pay my electric bill anymore, because then you got no lights in your restaurant. You can't eliminate your insurance bill, because then you're not covered. You can eliminate your credit card bill. So let's get Chris Benabou on, co-founder of Swipe for Free.
Let's get him on so we could drill the shit out of him.
And let's get him.
any questions that we can possibly ask him? Because the guy, he's the co-founder of this whole thing, and it was legal 15 months ago. And let's just ask him anything and everything. And of course, the listeners can write in. We'll get the questions to him. We'll discuss it on a further podcast also. But I think we can roll this guy around pretty good. So let's get him on.
Very cool. Hey, Chris, you ready? I mean, it sounds like this is an awesome opportunity.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for having me back. Listen, at the end of the day, we said it earlier. Look, if you're simply just willing to pick up the phone and call people that you know that are business owners, or how about this? Just tell all your friends that you can do this, and then they'll tell their friends, and then those people know business owners. That's pretty much it. You don't need to know owners or have a relationship with businesses to do this. Okay, you can do it the old-fashioned way: knock on doors, cold call, however, or you could just create a big network of people, right? And just tell them, I'm the credit card processing guy. I eliminate fees, right? Word of mouth. And then call me if somebody's interested in eliminating fees. And the beauty of our industry is there's profit sharing, right? It's legal 100% to, hey, Mark, here's 10%, here's 20%, here's 30%. Everybody eats together. It's a great, great industry.
Wow. That's awesome.
I mean, we've been to meetings and we've started to pitch this, and this is no bullshit. In 35 years, I've never been involved in a meeting where I'm pitching the item and they tell me right in the middle, stop talking. I get it. I'm in. How the fuck do I sign up? That's no bullshit. Awesome. They stop me mid-pitch when I'm discussing the opportunity. Brian, how many times does it happen to you? True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, this is my favorite thing to sell, and I don't even feel like we're selling, you know. I mean, we've sold $2 coffee mugs and we've sold entire businesses for $40-50 million. This is the easiest sale because it's just a conversation. And the best part in my eyes is, you know, we're talking about, you can call your family, you can go to your uncle who has a pizzeria. This isn't one of those BS, we're selling lotions and oils to your family, Tupperware parties. I'm asking you, do you want to sign up with this and save 3 to 4% on your overall expenses? And you don't have to pay me a dime, right? That's not a sale in my eyes. That's helping. That's just helping people. So going in and talking to these guys, it makes so much sense. It's so easy. It's a natural conversation. You're not pitching them a 2% difference in their overall. You're giving them real money that they're going to save, you know, and it makes things so much easier. And people do stop us and we go, all right, all good. We're not going to oversell it. Sign the papers. Let's roll. You know,
no bullshit. We were involved. We were involved in a meeting where we're giving this guy back $1.5 million.
Yeah.
$1.5 million. Say thank you. Say thank you.
Right.
So let's get to the meat of the matter, because this is what I would want to know if I was if I was on the other end of this podcast. So I go out there, I talk to everybody, I start to become successful at this, Chris, and I'm making $100,000. What would I make? Like, what would I take home to my family if I can do that? Can you share some of that with us?
Yeah. So the profit margins are amazing. I mean, the old way, this was when I started this 13 years ago. We were barely making what we're making now on the what's called traditional way, which is billing the merchant. Think about it. How could I possibly make 1 or 2% profit on your total volume by billing you? You would hate me. But that's what we used to do. That's the money we used to make, right? So think about how long that could last, right? Before a merchant gets educated and tells me to go fuck myself, right? Hey, How are you making? That's how I got into the business, guys. I found out what my credit card processing agent guy was making. We became friends, and then we went into business together. All right. But anyway, on Swipe for Free, when you're eliminating the fees, okay, and the consumer's paying 4%, anywhere from 1.5% to 2% is profit, monthly recurring. Simple math. The restaurant processes $100,000 a month, meaning they accept $100,000 in credit and debit card sales. Okay. We are going to, as a company, make anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and then we split that with the agent according to the split that we arrange. when they join the company. So very easily, you're making 1.5 to 2% of the total credit card processing volume. So imagine this, guys. You sign an account that does 100 grand. We all can do math. That's 1,500 to 2,000 at 100% profit. You're going to profit share with us on that. But imagine if you sign 10 businesses that do 100,000, and that's $1 million in credit and debit card sales, and you're making 1.5 to 2% of that, 15 to 20 grand, according to split. So it's really simply about going out and grabbing a $5,000 a month grocery store, a $25,000 a month pizzeria, a $10,000 a month tow truck. And then when people start to trust you, you get that $150,000 restaurant. Guys, if you're in a city, we all know rent. In order to cover the crappiest store in all of any major city, it's probably like $6,000 or $7,000 a month. Right? That's if you, I mean, New York City, I had 21 retail locations. I was paying 15, 20, 21 grand. In order to cover that, think about what your gross credit and debit card sales have to be. 200 grand, right? So you're making money on the business gross sales. Guys, I hate to say this because maybe my merchants are listening. There are times where my company makes more money on their business than they do on their own business. Because remember, if I'm making 2% and they're killing themselves for 10 net profit, like a restaurant does, I'm their fucking partner. I'm these people's partners, okay? But I'm a positive partner because I just put money in your pocket. Guys, when I used to charge people, I would hear, horrible stories. Now I hear, well, thanks. Because of this, I'm covering college tuition. Because of this, the saddest part is some people are telling me because of this, this is my profit. The savings is their only profit. The savings, some car dealerships, thanks, I'm not in the red. You put me in the green. We are keeping people in business. So it's deeper, guys. It's deeper than, of course, we're here to make money. I got bills. I have a family. But it's also, you're doing a positive service to these business owners. So at the end of the day, you feel proud. You're like, shit, I'm helping these people stay in business. I helped this guy make $1 million to distribute amongst his partners and the owners.
But
okay,
now,
it's a positive.
Now add in the pandemic. And how many businesses are going to be in trouble? How many businesses can use all the help they can get? And the people out there that's listening, they can be instrumental in helping these businesses, but at the same time, making a shitload of money. And I just want to point out one thing. The numbers that you're using are on a monthly basis. It happens, yes. You're like a landlord because at the first of every month, you're getting paid every month, month after month. And if you're doing it right, it's going to grow month by month. So, I mean, it really is. I hate to keep preaching this thing, but this is an unbelievable opportunity.
Well, and Mark, the other way that Chris has it set up, which, we love, is the more you do, the more money you make. So you are incentivized to bring on business. There's no plateau. There's no, I don't need to get that account, and that aspect of it is you're rewarding people that are aggressive with this and that are successful with this. And the rewards are fantastic. The split is as good, if not better, than any split in any sales industry you'll ever find. And not every split is monthly recurring revenue. Residual income is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's literally making money while you sleep. People always joke about that shit, but all of the billionaires and the top 3 richest people in the world, they all say the same thing. You need to make money while you sleep. So if you go to bed early and you have a bar, people are swiping the shit out of their credit card while you're literally sleeping. And I mean, we're doing it ourselves. And I would never recommend something that I didn't try myself. I wasn't into it when I heard it was credit card processing. This is not credit card processing. This is a whole different game. This is actually helping the businesses rather than digging in their ass for an additional expense. That's what we don't want to do. So everyone out there, inventors, entrepreneurs, anybody who's got any kind of time, this should become your top priority. No bullshit. And, I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger with an itchy ass, and I'm going for it. I'm doing it. I'm literally waking up every morning and going into my Rolodex and seeing who else can use this, who else can benefit from this. And I know we're using pizza, but it's just an easy example. But this is anyone that accepts credit card processing. It's swipeforfree.com. Click on Become a Partner. So, Chris, any pitfalls here? Because when I heard about it, and it's too good to be true, it usually is. So what can you tell me? Give me the bad shit. I hate to be like an interview and say, tell me the worst thing about yourself. That's always a bullshit question to me. But here, you've been in this a good long time. You're cracking the shit out of it. You're a wealthy dude, right? Where's the hook? Where's the bad part? Is there a bad part? I mean, is there something that you would say, oh, watch out for this, look both ways before crossing? Is there something like that you can share with us?
I mean, ultimately, look, it's pretty simple. And again, prior to COVID, right? Prior COVID. Listen, if you're walking into a business and you want to start complaining, which is again 1%, you're gonna bust the chops of whoever's at the counter, right? I'll give you an example. I was up in the Poconos. I went skiing maybe a month ago, 2 months ago now, and I went to a pizzeria and they had this program. Okay. It was my client actually. So pretty simple. The guy goes, I go to pay, I see it. And I go, oh, who you're with? And he goes, oh, please don't complain. Don't complain. So the kid behind the counter said, please don't complain. But the owner came and shook my hand and he took a selfie with me. He's like, hey, let me take a shot with you. I'm with you. This is great. So listen, yes, your waitresses, waiters, the people at your counters will have a 1% complaint rate. But it's very simple, gentlemen. Tell the truth, right? We don't lie here. Before COVID, we need to do this, right? If you pay cash, we don't have to pay credit card processing or debit card processing fees. We can just, we just accept the cash and we pay our sales tax and that's it. But if you pay, we can't afford to cover our expenses and reimburse you for airline miles, points, and all that. Okay, guys, after COVID, simple. We just can't be in business. It's not even about airline miles. We just can't be in business. So yes, my sales reps, and if anybody wants to join, we teach you how to explain to the staff. You don't want to roll this out and just start. You need to tell the staff, okay, hey, this is what you should say. This is what you have to do. We provide signage. Guys, there are laws that we follow to a T. Okay, I'll run through that for a second. We have to provide signage at the point of sale. So it has to be near the terminal or POS system, right? We have to have on our receipts, it clearly has to say non-cash charge. The font of that dollar amount, the 40 cents, has to be the same size as the total sale, $10 or above. Okay, so we have to follow these laws. We follow it to a T. Okay, we get audited constantly by the big card brands, Visa, MasterCard. Obviously, God bless, we pass with flying colors. But yes, you have to educate your staff. You have to give answers. And I'll tell you the truth, you don't have to lie. Just say the exact truth of what's happening. Prior COVID was minimum wage increase, your cost of goods going up. I don't want to raise my prices to you. I don't want to raise across the board my prices. And then after COVID, it's kind of like, hey, you like this Italian restaurant because I have the best shrimp parm that you've been coming here for 20 years? Well, guess what? I want to continue to deliver that to you. But if we don't do this, we won't be here tomorrow. So that's really the only thing. Educate your staff, which is what we do. Follow the laws that we provide you with the stickers and things like that, and educate your consumer. To tell you the truth, 99% of people don't even look at their receipt that prints out that terminal. Prior to COVID and sure as hell after COVID, they're throwing that thing out. They don't even want to touch it. So the reality is, my wife is a great example. She does not look at her receipts. I mean, they're in her purse. I have to clean out her purse once a month. I can't stand it, or her car. But yeah, she doesn't look at it. She just pays. And 4%, guys, is typically a joke on an average transaction, right? So
Right.
she's not paying attention. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
I can tell you that from the ISO perspective, right? From the salesman perspective, since we've been doing this, the hardest thing is the same thing that's hard about everything when you believe in what you're selling, and it's the no's, right? So when you have somebody say no to you, you can't think that this is, oh, I'm frustrated, this sucks, whatever. You're going to get no's, but this scenario, believe me, you get a hell of a lot more yeses and people that want to bring this into their establishment than you get no's. So from a salesman perspective, the hardest thing about this is not convincing people, it's getting enough people in your pipeline that if it's a numbers game, man. If we're closing 25% of everybody, I got to get 10 people every day that I'm talking to on the phone, and we're going to make a ton of money. So the hard thing is the hard work. It's not necessarily, oh, there's so many moving parts, it's a difficult thing to explain, I got to onboard people and train them in this. You sign the application and Chris's team takes care of everything else, right? So Chris, what happens when ISO goes on to swipeforfree.com, or ISO is the term we use, independent sales operator, right? Which is what we are. They go on, they sign up. What happens next? Where do they go? Is it a training program? What happens?
Yes. So once you go to the partner page, you fill out all your information. Please give accurate contact, email, phone number, best contact, things like that. One of my great ISO support team members will reach out. They will schedule you, and we do multiple classes a day. We're going to, pick a slot that works for you. We understand everybody has a different schedule. God bless, by the way, those essential workers that are out there doing it. Thank you very much. So we do scheduling based on your needs. We have multiple classes. So anyway, very simple. You fill out the form. They reach out to you two ways. A, if you're extremely busy, you'll receive a recording. I don't love the recording because I feel you need the energy like this to truly feel the passion from my people, because they're just as passionate about the program as me. But yes, you can do this on your own time at any time you want. B, you can schedule into a live training class with one of my trainers who will show you the slides, okay, and walk you through. It's what we call the beginner program. It's about 2 hours. But let me tell you this much. When you complete this 2 hour, it's basically a gentleman or three, my level, that are going to give you everything you need to know to do the basics, to sign the merchant up and get them going. Now, when you complete that level of training, again, God bless you, want to work with us, you fill out our agreements, then we have schedulized training to graduate you on and on, right? We're not trying to stop your education at 2 hours, right? We want to see your commitment. So if you're committed, you go out, you close some deals, you're going to graduate into deeper classes like POS, point of sale, integration classes, where if you walk into a merchant and he has this fancy system, we're going to teach you how we go into that system, add the fee, and take over that merchant account. So we're willing to dedicate to the individual whatever level of dedication they're willing to give us. Pretty simple. So simple part, you get a 2 hour class, you go out there, you get a deal, you call my customer support team who's available 24/7. They walk you through the entire process. And then, yeah, you get a deal. And the beauty is it's not paperwork, it's DocuSign. Click, click, click on the iPad or on your laptop, okay? And within 48 hours, that terminal is shipped. We call deployed and shipped to that merchant. Whether or not you want to be there, which I recommend to just help them out with my technical support team, it's a great way to show your dedication, yes. But if not, hey, they plug and play, guys. This is not rocket science. You plug and play, and you start using that terminal.
And I can tell you, too, from sitting through that first 2 hour training, I went into it blind to the industry, right? Took that first 2 hour training, signed up our first 2 accounts. I think we did the training Monday, right, Mark? On a Monday. That Thursday and Friday, we signed up our first 2 accounts. One was a bar restaurant, one was a diner. And on the second account with the diner, there was a question that I didn't know the answer to, right? The first one was easy. We called the merchant support team. They answered the question. The paperwork got, the DocuSign was click, 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 and we were done. The support that they provide is second to none, in my opinion. So, once you take that first class, you have enough tools in the toolbox to start this process. Then, like we do those trainings regularly now to refresh, to learn something new, to pick up a line we can use in a sales meeting, whatever it might be. Those things are very important. But after that first one, you're powerful enough, if as most people are, competent enough to go out and start signing people up. It's a great thing.
Hey, Chris, real quick. The business owner, whilst I am talking to them and What information do they need if, say, they want to sign up right there? It's just like you said, it's just here, sign here.
No, of course, it's not that simple. We have a big responsibility to deposit correctly their credit card and debit card processing money, their the actual credit card flow. So we need to confirm account routing number. We need a voided check with the business's name. We need, if there's multiple owners, anybody greater than 50%, sometimes 25%. We need all of their information, social, date of birth. It's same way you would pretty much get a car or anything else. We do a soft pull on credit. We don't do a hard pull. We just follow all the laws and make sure Patriot Act that they are who they are. And in that sense, it's relatively simple. It's a very fast procedure. Sometimes we can push out approvals as quick as 24 hours. So that merchant can start, once they physically receive the equipment. If you're locally based, you can pick it up. If you're, in any state in the country, we ship ground. So that's pretty much it.
Wow.
So that leads me to Carmine's question. Led me to a question. So I'm a merchant, and I batched or I swiped $1,000 that day. When do I get my $1,000?
So you're going to get it next day. Next day funding, it's called. You're going to receive that money the minute your bank, again, based on your bank's business hours. Mostly banks open very early in the morning. When you wake up, those funds are there. Now, one thing I wanted to get into, because I come from a retail background, and me and my business partner used to hate to wake up every morning and then check all of our cell phone stores' batches and make sure that we received our funds. It was 21 stores. He did 10, I did 11. Check our deposit, make sure we didn't get robbed. Let's face it. With us, with Swipe for Free, if you run the grand, right, quality of life, we'll call it, you run the grand plus the 4%, $40, 1,040. When you wake up and you see you have $1,000, right? After a week or so, you're going to say, I don't have to check my deposits anymore. These guys are not charging me anything. I'm getting my total sales amount minus the fee, of course, the 4% to the consumer. And I just improved your quality of life. Now you have time to go do something positive for your business, not fucking check your deposit to make sure I didn't raise your rates or play with you or charge you junk fees. Guys, these people get junked. It's unbelievable the amount of junk fees they get. They don't have to check their bank anymore. We give them that ability. It's rather nice as a business owner not to have to do that.
I had retail. I have owned retail in the past.
Oh, God.
And one of the things, and I'm not going to bullshit you around. So we would swipe the $1,000, and it just wasn't $9.70. It just wasn't the 3%. There were all these kind of fees. Like I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand any of the fees. I didn't. They make so much smoke and bullshit that I would just like it's almost like a cell phone bill. Or did you ever rent a car and you click on it and it's like, oh, it's $56 a day, and then by the time you're at the bottom, it's $156 a day.
Yeah.
And then you look back and it's like fees and taxes and schmaxes and all kinds of bullshit.
Yep.
So that was one of my biggest stress points when I was a retail merchant was what the fuck am I getting charged for? Other banks analysis fee. What the fuck is an analysis fee? Hello, what are you analyzing? I didn't even ask you to fucking analyze anything. So all that being said, I swiped $1,000. I'm getting $1,000. What do you need to worry about? That's on top of, forget about the financial value to your point.
Correct.
The value is, I know I'm looking for $1,000. Yes or no? Is it in my fucking account? Yes or no? And there's no additional fees. And it's recurring. It happens. They get to do positive things for the business. But then the ISO, the independent sales operator, gets to make money, do positive things, move on to the next account, and start making some real big fucking money. So Carmine, when are you starting?
Oh, I thought that this was it. I thought this was starting. I'm ready to go.
Shut your mic off and start looking through your Rolodex. What the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I already talked to several people. I had to call my barber back. I haven't talked to him in years, but
Yeah,
ready to go.
Barber's a great business.
Go broke.
Yeah.
But no, we're ready to go, man. I got a couple of people talk to Brian about it. Brian is Chris. Brian is really hooked on this, man. I talked to Brian about this for an hour and a half yesterday. We're ready to go, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
Carmine, it's the
unreal.
best opportunity. If
It-
flat out, we've seen, like Mark was saying, 30, 40 business ideas a week to invest in, to get involved in.
A week.
The one.
A week.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
A
Well, I'm
week.
going to put it here in our business here too. I mean, one of the biggest things we have when people want to pay with credit cards, I tell them, I said, I got to charge you the fee.
It's
Well,
funny. I talked
not only the fees, but for the next day funding is huge, right? So we use it in our marketing business, and our old company, it was 2 or 3 days before the money hit. And if you have a lot of expenses, we have 1099 contractors, we're paying a lot every day out. You want to be able to go to sleep at night knowing the money's going to be in the bank. Something that simple, right? To the person who's not familiar with the industry, that sounds easy. Well, I got paid. Why isn't the money in my bank account? But that's not a common thing. That's a big deal to have that. And it's just it's a freedom thing. It's a quality of life thing, like Chris was saying.
So what
Yeah.
and what does that do? It gives you cash flow too. Because if I'm swiping $1,000 today and I wake up in the morning and that $1,000 is in my bank account in full, that's to me that's monstrous.
Yeah. I mean, guys, it's deeper than just. I meant, of course, the simple sales tactic is we eliminate your fees, you save a shitload of money. What are you going to do with all this money? But it goes more and more, right? It gives you a quality of life. You don't have to check your deposits, right? When our terminals have proprietary software that when you batch, okay, it shows you the total amount, then it shows you the total fee, non-cash charge you collected, and then it nets that difference so that you, when you wake up, understand how much are you supposed to get, right? These are all things, right? Again, next day, where it improves your quality of life, your business's quality of life, in addition to just, hey, a ton more money in your account. But all of these different, you guys could keep on going. Think about the stress levels. Are they going to raise my rates? Is there a junk fee coming up? Guys, the systems are run by algorithms, by geniuses that sit around and say, when is this business owner not going to look? Why is it December, Christmas time, your bill is the biggest? Because it's your busiest time. They play with your bill in December, which gets deducted January 1st or 2nd, because they say, hey, this guy, he's doing great. Merchants are doing great nationwide. Let's smack them with all these other fees. Guys, you hit it before, Mark. The bills were created to make it impossible to understand what you're paying.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Guys, before Swipe for Free, I would have to train people for 6 months how to do a statement analysis, how to look at this bill and fill out this giant calculator to get all the fees and understand where can we save them. Now my pitch is, what's reality is, my guys rip the bill up and say, there's no bill. You receive your bill, not a bill, I'm sorry, you receive your statement by email. We don't even have to mail it to you because there's no fees. So you get it, you say, hey, I did $100,000. They collected 4% from my customers. That's a total of $104,000. I received $100,000. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's the email that you get.
Who wants to hear my pitch? Because this is the pitch I give, dude. I'm just gonna tell you the truth, what I do. I call up the guy, I go, do me a favor, have your CFO figure out how much in credit card processing fees you paid last year. Guy gets back on the phone with me. I'm like, okay, what did they tell you? Oh, they told me it's $700,000 in credit card fees. I'm like, good. I'm going to put all that back in your fucking pocket. This is a short conversation. Send me 2 months worth of statements. Let me see if you're telling the goddamn truth. I bring it to your people. Your people analyze it and they're on the fucking goods. That's it. Just, I'm putting the 700 back in your pocket. You don't have to be a mathematician. You don't have to be a fucking genius, which I am not. And in 15 seconds, I got the meeting out of my hands because I don't know when the last time somebody walked into anybody on this phone's office and said, oh, dude, I got $700,000 for you. All you got to do is shake your head in an upward and downward position, meaning yes. What the fuck? I'm not going to charge you for the machines. I'm going to get you on in the next 2 weeks ish, right? 2 or 3 weeks, and you're off to the races. It's like taking candy from a fucking baby. Not that I condone that. I would not take candy from a baby, okay? But in this instance, from a business perspective, that's exactly what the fuck is going on here. No more, no less. And Brian will tell you, I'm not a detail guy, and I don't give a fuck. I'm a business guy. I'm a rainmaker, very similar to you, Chris. And when I walk into these companies and I turn around to them and go, listen, we'll dot I's and cross T's later. What are you paying fucking credit card fees? Because it's all coming back to you. I don't even discuss the cash flow. I don't even discuss quality of life. I discuss nothing except you tell me what the number is, and I'm going to tell you how much money's going in your pocket, which is 100% of it. So who the fuck would not want to be involved in this when they're going to get a monthly VIG? And then, as we talked about last podcast, they're able to sell that VIG for 12x in a single check. Hello?
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
Hey,
What the
Chris.
fuck are we doing?
Unbelievable. Hey, Chris, I did get a question from the last show. What about online sales, website stuff?
Yeah. So again, the beauty is because we've been in business for 13 years and we were the traditional aspect prior to this, we have all the technology, shopping carts. We love e-commerce. Right now, e-commerce is, besides deli, grocery, supermarket, is what's carrying us through this horrible time. I mean, our retail store, our restaurants are closed, our bars are closed, our e-commerce, the shopping websites. I have a friend. Well, he became a friend once I saved him the money. He wasn't my friend before. He sells miniature golf systems for your home, right? In home, you hit the ball, right? Cool. He's pumping. So these are the individuals, the e-commerce accounts, shopping carts that are carrying my business through, along with food. Food is through the roof. Guys, I also want to hit on that. I have friends in commission-based industries, things that I invested in also, but they're severely hurt right now. Severely, okay? They have no revenue. Because we're residualized, obviously we're feeling it. Guys, nobody is not financially feeling it. But we're down nowhere near where other people are down. We're down 25 to 26% because of our e-commerce business. And again, our food industry is carrying us through, which means what I'm trying to say is my reps, my ISOs, my direct sales guys, all my people are still getting paid because people are still shopping for these particular businesses. So I want to also tell you, when you look at your merchants, your portfolio, right? Because when you sign accounts, it joins your portfolio. Yeah, if something, God forbid, in the future happens, a hurricane hits New York like we've suffered before, your businesses in other states are working, okay? If God forbid, retail hurts, e-commerce is up, right? So as long, again, your portfolio is good as if you have a cousin in a different state or a brother in another state, you're allowed to sign and are capable of signing merchants anywhere you want. So things of this nature, they do hurt us all financially, but they don't devastate you. You make a living and you can support your family.
So it's the same as buying in a stock portfolio. When you diversify and you have a lot of different things,
correct.
If one stock shits the bed, it's not going to cripple you because you're diversified. And that's a great point, Chris. And of course, everybody's going to sell the lowest hanging fruit accounts that they possibly can.
Of course.
But then as they go along, a car dealership, a restaurant, a tanning salon, a nail salon, a bodega, and then this way, they're well protected across the board. And that's an awesome point. That's a great point.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, when you go out there initially, you're gonna pitch this, and then once you stay true to your word, you plug that terminal up. They process, they see that non-cash charge. Oh, it's 4%. They wake up for a week. They see their deposits are clean, no fees taken out whatsoever. They wait that month. Hey, no fees were taken out on that first business day for the month prior. Then guess what? Your best referral is your existing clients. You see, what I do with my reps is I give them something called the PIN map, where I show them wherever they're located nationwide, and per zip code, I can zoom in and show them all the merchants that are already with us so that they can name drop them and say, hey, Mark is really happy with us. If you don't believe me, call Mark. He's eliminated his fees. And keep in mind, guys, if Mark is in the same territory or neighborhood as me and he has clients, those merchants are selling to the same consumers because it's a neighborhood. And why would they have a problem paying at Mark's but not have a problem paying at this other person? It's neighborhood wide. You can charge consumers, and it helps when somebody else in your area is already doing it. You're not going to be, gentlemen, I wouldn't be on this if I was testing this. I wouldn't be on this if it was my first rodeo. We've been doing this in our industry, cash discounting. To say it's been over 4 years, it's like saying we invented the credit card. We were the first company to put this program out, and we have learned and initially years ago made some little penny mistakes. We've mastered it. So you're going to push out a product that's been tested and has a great, strong reputation.
I truly believe, Carmine, I truly believe that this is the way that business is going to be done in the future.
Me too.
This is the new normal, okay? Because why should the merchant pay for your airline miles? Why should the merchant pay for your cash back? Why should why is it all on the merchant? These guys are struggling their balls off to try to make a living, and now all of a sudden they're sticking airline miles in his ass. It doesn't make sense. If you want airline miles, fucking pay for them. That's how it works. And it's definitely, in my opinion, going to be the way that all business is done. Maybe you're not at the very beginning. Maybe it's really taking on a crescendo now, but I believe, Chris, that this is how every single business is going to operate, bar none, because it just makes all the sense in the world from a financial perspective and from all the other perspectives that you were doing. Let me share the website another time. It's swipeforfree.com, swipe the number 4 free.com, and just click on become a partner. No upfront cost. The training is free. All you need to do is roll up your sleeves and break your ass. If you're willing to break your ass, there's a ton of money to be made. Ask Brian, ask me. We're involved in it, okay? Total transparency. This thing is as real as rain. I'm not joking around.
Yeah.
So,
and Mark, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to say, which is interesting, is this all started not from me. The big box stores, right? These big people, Walmart, okay, you guys can Google and read all that you want about this. Home Depot, they started this wave years ago when they were like, this is enough. We're tired of paying these astronomical fees. Now, mind you, they have custom rates that no small business owner can get. They have incredibly low corporate, humongous box store, low rates. I can't even get those rates on the traditional side, and they're complaining. So imagine the regular people. When I say regular, under 500, 1,000 employees, they're not even in those special rates. So imagine how they feel. Guys, Home Depot was pissed and said, hey, every time somebody walks in and buys a bag of screws, right, on a debit card, I lose money. I'm giving them the screws away for free. Think about all those times your wife sent you to the Home Depot to go hang a painting, right, or a picture, and you buy it on your debit card. They lost money, guys. This started from the big boys, okay? Do you know why this started in the gas industry? They would be bankrupt and be out of business if they weren't able to give you the cash price because they couldn't afford to pay credit card processing fees. There wasn't enough money in gas. And can I tell you now, gas is sure as hell there's no money in gas right now.
I need you to speak to this, Chris. I need you to speak to this. So one of my experiences is you go into a place and the guy goes, this is New York, of course, because the way I'm going to say it, you can tell it's New York. It's not bumfuck. But they're like, forget about it. You know what? I add 3% to all of my bills. So I don't need you. Go fuck yourself. What do you say to a guy who's just adding percentage onto the bottom of all of his bills? In whatever business it is.
Well, first of all, I mean, the biggest thing I tell them, and it's true, is it's an accounting nightmare, right? You're taking in the 3%, right? How are you taking it in? You don't have the ability to add it legally on your terminal. You don't have the software capability. What am I doing, Mark? I'm telling you when you walk in, oh yeah, give me 1030, 1040 instead of 10. That's illegal. First of all, you cannot verbally tell a consumer that they owe you more money because they're paying with credit or debit without what I discussed earlier with the receipt, the same font size, the sign and all that. Okay. 2, charging that fee, but you're still paying fees. Now, let me tell you a secret. The credit card processing company knows if you're charging the consumer. So they're just going to jack up your rates to get that money from you back. So you get it, you're charging them, but you're still paying. So all you're doing, right, is you're trying to offset your bill, but your credit card company goes, he's charging, I'm going to raise them up. So in essence, it's an accounting nightmare, Okay, they have to collect this money, but they're still getting debited. They still don't know if they're coming out on top. It's a nightmare. It's a pain in the ass, and it's illegal. So the key word is it's illegal. All right, it's against Visa, MasterCard, and Discover's rules.
That's it, and just right there, it's illegal. We could stop there. Fuck the accounting nightmare. Dude, it's illegal. You can't do it. So they need to go through a third party like Swipe for Free. They must.
Yes, they have to go through us, and they have to follow those specific laws and rules that we follow to a T. And they're not able to do it by themselves. They can't just ask you for more money. That's completely against the rules.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because I did walk into a place where he just put right on the menu. He was just like, "Hey, 3% across the board. Fuck off."
Well, if it wasn't on the sales transaction with the credit receipt, it wasn't presented to you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. We bring technology, pay at the table technology to most merchants where, they bring the terminal or the pretty iPad device to you, and it's clearly stated right there, the non-cash charge, the additional fee. They're not doing that. If you called Visa that day or you wrote them a nasty email, they would get into big trouble. There's a $5,000 fine behind that bad boy. Strike one. So yeah, they would get a headache.
Wow.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay.
So Chris, if I'm sitting here going, this is a great opportunity, but like, give me some examples of who are great merchants to go to with this, because I'll ask you why, or I'll tell you why. When Mark and I first heard about this, and we started this 8 months ago, we went whale hunting right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right. We went to the $1 billion car dealership that we have a connection with, and it's going to come through, but it's still taken us about 6 months to get that one. Right. But then we have the dentist office. We have the bodega that's doing $11,000 a month. We have the diner that's doing $30,000 a month. Those little ones add up big time, and they're really helping us now during this time. So give me some examples of, what are off the top of your head, guys, that, I know a guy that.
Yeah, of course.
I know that.
Well, I look at it first. I like to always say, as a consumer, think about where you would pay. A, not complain, or B, not even feel it. But we'll leave that aside. I want the listeners to say, where would I pay and not be totally pissed off? So let's start with the emergency world, right? Locksmiths, tow trucks, wherever you're grateful. Hey, this person's coming to get me in my house, right? I'm not complaining. I'm great because I don't have cash and I don't have to go to the ATM. That's a pain in my ass right there, right? So all that, we do great with HVAC companies. They fix your boiler. My heat broke 2 days ago. He's my client. I'm paying myself the fee, right? So that whole world, and we could go on and on. Medical is wonderful. Why? Doctors are kind of enough, dentists, doctors are nice enough, plastic surgeons, to accept your co-payment in credit card. Think about it, right? They're paying fees to take what they're supposed to be collect, that $40 or whatever. So guess what? They're a great candidate. Why should they pay for your fees for them accepting your co-payment, right? So medical, dental, huge. Anything luxury, plastic surgery, you're really going to complain that you're about to do a whatever job and you're going to pay a fee? No, man, you're grateful that they're taking credit or debit for that, right? Now let's go to anything related to a business that has a minimum sign. Deli, grocery, bodega, supermarket is our best friends. Minimum signs, we rip them up. Anybody who sends clients pizza to the ATM, we have videos all over our website. We call it go to the ATM to never come back. When I was in retail, I would say, hey, go get me cash. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd she go? Bye. Okay. So anybody that sends them out, pizza, anybody who's dealing with minimum wage increases, that's everybody, by the way. Restaurants are our best friends, guys. We actually keep restaurants in business before COVID. I'm always going to say before COVID because now forget it. We're on a different level, but restaurants helping offset minimum wage, minimum sign merchants, emergency merchants, medical merchants. Here's a big one, guys. Wholesalers. Wholesalers couldn't afford to accept credit or debit, right? They make 2% margins. If your fees are 3% and you make 2%, you would go negative if you accepted credit or debit. So we bring credit card processing the business to wholesalers, which now what happens? They're able to extend more sales because now they're not going on the old-fashioned credit, right? Oh, here's 10 grand, pay me when you can, right? Now they're taking your payment. The end buyer, the retailer, is saying, what? they take credit or debit, I get points, and I can what? I can float myself, right? I can buy more merchandise. So there is so many different angles. I mean, I'll give you an example. I have an oil delivery company. Okay, they do the whole home natural gas. They pump your house, right, to get heat. They used to chase people with invoicing, 30 days, 60 days. They had collections departments. They had people call. People were not paying them because they would pump your oil, then bill you. Well, guess what? Their 22 drivers have wireless terminals. They go to your house. You pay. Not only do you pay on spot, you pay your own processing fee if you want to pay with credit or debit, right? And they don't have collections departments anymore. They get paid on spot, or they don't pump you gas unless you pay with check off, as a secondary check. So we are helping businesses that couldn't afford credit card, accept credit card. We're helping businesses that had to extend credit and invoicing to now accept credit and debit. We're helping get rid of these minimum credit and debit card signs. And we're hurting the ATM business, to be honest. That's why those guys are my greatest fleet of salespeople. So we can go on, and the medical for copay. So, and that's just some angles that I'm just throwing. I'm sure the listeners are sitting like, hey, I just thought of something too. I could yap on for hours on angles.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. I went to the car dealer, and I didn't want to mess with the financing, and I wanted to put it on my Amex, right? And the car dealership said no. They just said no, you can't pay. Like literally, just shut me down. Now I probably bought 20 cars here over the years from this dealership between me and employees and all that stuff. And I said, why won't you take it? They said, well, we don't have 3% in the deal. You negotiated.
Right.
You negotiated down to a gnat's ass, so we're not making any money, right? So if they would have said to me, right, we'll charge you $10,000, but it's good. You can put $10,000, you can buy the car, and the car's $10,000, but it's $10,400. Now they've put the onus on me to make a decision to do it. But what happens is the car dealership gets their whole $10,000. And that now they're able to take credit cards on sales. Not only forget about service, forget about that. That's all day, every day, twice on Sunday. But they can take cards for the sales of these cars, and that's a biggie. That's a real.
And Mark, think about what you're saying too. That's $400 on putting $10,000 down. You know, it's really not that much money, and that's a huge transaction. The average transaction, if I go to the pizzeria and spend $10, it's 40 cents. If I go to a nice dinner for $100, it's $104 on the bill. Who cares? Who's going to argue it? Why wouldn't you just pay it? You know, it's not that much at the end of the day.
But the most important thing of all this is the restaurateur, the merchant. The merchant is whole. The merchant doesn't pay anything, and it's high time that they get every penny that's due to them. Especially since the pandemic and the businesses and the unemployment. There is, I don't know what the number is, but the normal unemployment was 3 million. Now it's 10 million in the state of New York or some craziness like that. Every single one of those people should be hustling, and they should be hustling in a situation like this. Swipeforfree.com, become a partner, and they should be able to get at least their inner circle on board to start that process going. There's no excuses. Go ahead, Chris.
And guys, what I wanted to say, I'm sorry, was, you don't want to start this when they release shelter in place, right? You do. That's going to be a great opportunity. But you know what? If you can train as soon as possible, then you can start calling your buddies and pals, and you can get them set up prior to those who are closed. That means they begin to enjoy savings the day they open, right? That's one angle. Now, second angle is this. You're a restaurant. You can't have dining in, right? You're not allowed to have people sitting in, but you're doing takeout and delivery, right? Get those people set up to eliminate their bill, because that's going to help them offset the financial loss by not having the dining in, right? So there's always a good time, whether it's before we're at, let go to knock on doors. There's people that are still in business that you can help to offset this loss. There are so many different angles.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
and a lot of it is they prefer to take the credit cards now because there's no touch. You're pulling up to the restaurant and they're putting it in your trunk and you're prepaid with a credit card type of thing because you know, people are a little squirrely about cash too right now as well. So, I mean, there's so many upsides to to recouping their credit card costs. And to the listeners, there's so much upside here when there's no upfront cost. We could, you know, I mean, Chris, truthfully, you could have charged something to see who's serious, see who's not. Let's just put it out there, man. Let's just put it where it is. You could have gone out there and said, listen, if you're serious, you're going to give me $200, right? And done it that way. But no, because of the times, because of the way that you know that people can make a big living, this is the way that it's going to roll. You're letting them come in for absolutely nothing. Are there going to be some assholes? Yeah, there'll be an asshole factor. There's no doubt about that, but there is in everything. But to put them through for free and to set them up to make their own living, this is, you know, there's no excuses. Don't write me and cry like a bitch. I'm not interested in your crybaby shit. And I just, if you don't get involved in this, it's on you. Cry to your mother. That's it. So, I mean, I got nothing else, man. This is just unbelievable. People need to go to swipeforfree.com and click on become a partner. That's all there is to this. They'll support you. They'll train you. If you get a no at a customer, call the sales support staff. They'll talk you through. Okay, what did he say? What did you say? And they'll actually talk you through the first few so that by the time, you know, what do they call an expert? Somebody that's done something once before. So you go to your first account, you're able to talk it through. Boom. Now all of a sudden you're an expert. You're out there. You're knocking it down. So that's the most important thing here, and it's an unbelievable opportunity, Carmine. So
it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Brian, we're going to start closing the show up. You got anything closing stuff?
Well, yeah, I want to say one thing. If people are listening and they have questions and they want to talk, you know, hey, tell me about this, about that, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you about this. We've been doing it. You know, we're not bullshitting when we say that. It's the best thing we've done in a very long time. And if people want to know, hey, tell me about this, tell me about that, I'm happy to talk to you about it and get you guys started, you know, running your own book of business. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. What I was thinking is if people are listening and they want to test it, just send Mark Portney your credit card. He'll run it.
Yes. Yes. It's a minimum $1,000 transaction.
It's a 4% fee, bitch.
Yeah. Guys, one thing I want to say, just keep this in mind. The merchant is not obligated once they sign. They're not trapped. They're not stuck. They can try this program out. Now, I also want to say, remember, in order to have this program, we are a regular credit card processing company also. Merchant doesn't like it, wants to eliminate, get rid of the 4%, says, I can't do this. We're still going to beat the hell out of their current rates. Yeah, we're going to make a lot less money, guys, you know, but it's still an account, and we're able to do that. Gentlemen, we're also able to give merchants multiple accounts, one with the fee, one without. We have enough experience to figure out what works for any merchant out there, guys.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Amazing. There's no contract, no obligation. You want to cancel after, you know, you try it for 30 days. Hey, guess what? Didn't like it. We'll bring you right back to traditional, and we'll beat the hell out of your current rates.
Cool.
So that's Swipe for Free. That's the number 4, swipeforfree.com, and click on Become a Partner. And I'm going to give out Chris's personal cell now. And so everybody can call him at home.
Good luck.
That's awesome,
I think I told him 14 hours a day.
Yeah. All right. Well, so cool, man. Awesome stuff. You know, we'll circle back. We'll get some more information for any of you listeners out there. Get in touch with us. Find us online. Brian Scanlon, myself, Inventors Launchpad. Send us an email. Send us a note. We will definitely get you in touch. But obviously, go on out to swipeforfree.com. It's I've gone through the site. It's very easy to traverse. It's awesome. It's got a lot of information on the site. And, you know, this is a no-brainer. And, you know, what I think is that it's actually going to help. It's going to help people retain employees. It's going to help them save money, bring more people on, maybe upgrade equipment, whatever it is, it's going to help. And that's one of the things I love about this is it's helping the business owner keep more cash in his pocket to do things with. So it's really a cool deal.
Hit it on the nose.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It is.
That's what this is.
It really is. And that's what I think you guys are so excited about. You know, I mean,
Carmen, you made a great point. I mean, think about it. Typically when a business opens and they invest $50,000, $60,000 in a POS system, right? And then this great thing, EMV, comes out where they have to accept those chip cards. And they're like, I can't because my POS doesn't take it. And they can't afford to spend 50, 60 grand to replace that equipment. Well, guess what? If they switch to Swipe for free, they take that savings and it buys them a new system to accept EMV cards and not get chargebacks.
Yeah.
So this is the beautiful thing about this. We're also able to come in and help merchants get, state-of-the-art technology. Guys, I want to make this clear too. We're a technology provider. This business is very comparable, I call it, to the cell phones, right? The way cell phones have gone from flip, no camera to camera smart. Our terminals have gone from connecting through dial, right, all the way up to wireless, touchscreen, Android-based smart. We have this technology. So if you make this decision to sell this product, not only are you eliminating fees and helping merchants, and we can continue on, you're selling technology, guys. So you're now a technology provider. So that's another, which I love every day, to see this industry evolve and put out all this cool stuff. We're basically married to the cell phone industry. We stay just as much as they're adapting. Our terminals are adapting. So I thought that's pretty amazing too.
Yeah, it is. No, all good stuff. I love it. All right, guys, we're going to close the show up. I appreciate you all for being on today, giving us this information. You're basically helping people maybe start fresh, start a whole new business, get out there and make some money for their families, let people and business owners also recoup some costs and keep some money in their pocket. It's a great, great solution. Swipeforfree.com. All very cool. We appreciate you guys for listening into today's episode of Reality Is with Mr. Mark Portney, Brian Scanlon, and myself, Carmine Danisco. We certainly would use you going out to Google Play or iTunes. Leave us a rating or review. We'd love to hear from you, and we will connect you next time on Reality Is. You all take care.